work on replacing these new end caps on my doors and take off these old ones that are ripped and kind of tearing up, don't look the best anymore. I've not really found any videos talking about replacing these very well, or at least very detailed. There's a part that goes down inside there a little ways where the window will eventually come up into it, and then it kind of just meets up with that trim and this trim. So I have to drill these out and pull that out of there, paying attention to how it comes out. And then you'll see on the ones I got, they're kind of nasty looking. I think that's just probably mold release that is on them. I took a hand wipe, shop wipe, and they cleaned up just fine. They're pretty dry now, and it doesn't look like the white hazy stuff is coming back. So I think I just had to wipe off the film from when these were made. So no big deal there. And I'll go get the drill and we'll get started. I got the rivets drilled out, and then I just took a hammer and a punch and pushed the little pieces of what was left in the hole in through the door. So now this thing is ready to come out. If we look down in there, you can see it kind of has a spot fit in over the door. And this should be able to just pry up on it. And I figure out I'm gonna have to take this one screw out and get this trim off. There's gotta be one more rivet on that front side that is keeping this in. I went and looked at the new one and did realize there is a third spot right there. So a little more disassembly to go. All right, that was easy enough. Just take that screw out, pull back on the whole thing away from the mirror end, and it'll pop right out. And there's our third rivet that I gotta get. Probably goes without saying, but make sure your window's not up when you're doing all this, or you might break it. So looks like that thing comes right out now, and we'll clean this up and test fit the other one. And I got all this cleaned up. Looking down in there, I don't really get my fat finger out of the way. There isn't really anything that this connects to. When I first saw this little deal, I thought it must slip on around a piece of sheet metal or something. But looking down in there, there's really nothing for it to grab onto. So I think all I do is push this straight down and start getting all the holes to line up. All right, let me fiddle with this a little bit and then I'll come back and talk about it. So one thing I'm noticing is this fits in like this. And you can see on this outside edge, there's a pocket here. And that piece of rubber on the edge here, looks like I'm gonna need to put a slit in it, because there is no edge that this should fit over. You can see there's this section here that's closed off on that end, but there's nowhere for that to fit down into. And even if I pull this up a little bit, there's no spot where the sheet metal ends. So for that to go down all the way for my rivet holes to line up, I'm gonna have to put a slit right here. I looked at the other one that came off of it, and it looks like it's the same deal. Yeah, it had to have a slit put in it. All right, so you can see it's not fitting great, and I'm gonna have to trim some of this off. I'm gonna wait till I get it all riveted in place and then try to make one straight little cut. There's gonna be a little gap there. It looks like I can't get it to go forward any further. And those holes will line up pretty good. And that lines up pretty good, but the front here is not working quite right. All right, so with everything riveted in, you can see it does not really fit very well. So I'm gonna try to clean this up a little bit and we'll get back. Okay, that looks better. Not great, but better. So that'll all start to set in place a little more, but I'm not real happy with that gap right there. Let's go look at the other side and see what it looks like. I still have the factory piece in over here. I always do one side before the other. I don't take both sides apart all at once because you never know if you need to see. Yeah, see, that looks a lot nicer. It's still coming apart and dry rotted a little, but I really like how that worked out. And with everything back on now, it doesn't look bad. I think if you weren't looking for it, you'd never notice. Yeah, all in all, I'm going to say that looks a lot better than it did, and it's not all weather cracked and rusty rivets and everything else. So all in all, that was pretty easy. We'll get the other side done. A little trick to not let metal debris get everywhere around your car. Put some duct tape around where you're going to be drilling and just kind of shield with your hand, and then use the other hand with the drill. Most all the chips will fall right on that, and then you just slowly peel it back and let the pieces in the crevice just trap themselves as you pull it away. There, I've done these two holes, and then I'm getting ready to use a second piece, fresh piece, to drill that one out. And you can see down on the floor I don't hardly have anything. There's a few little pieces that got away, but keeps you from tracking that stuff around and getting it in parts of your car or your shop that you don't want them. So just a little trick. Got that one drilled out, and just use your tape there, get the rest of it, and you can see you won't have to mess with cleaning up much. And we got the passenger side done now. I gotta tell you, it seemed to fit a lot better. Still have that gap there where the two pieces come together, but this part fit really well. It just for some reason seemed to fall in place easier than the other one. I need to wipe this one down a little more to get the mold release off, but that came out pretty good. Okay, so that was part one of the door weather stripping update. Next video will be coming. Should be getting these front pieces replaced. And then I won't be putting this all back together anytime soon. I'll just leave it all apart until all the other weather stripping gets finished and all the doors or windows get lined back up. So it'll stay in this condition for quite a while as I get through all those other projects. But this is looking pretty good. Hopefully this works out. That'll be looking good. These are new from earlier this year. They're looking really good. Got the mirrors repainted earlier this year, so all the door stuff's really coming together. All right, that's all for now.